Hello, hello, and welcome back to What We Pod in the Shadows, where we are currently going to be discussing Season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows, starting off with the Season 3 premiere. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
Just a quick reminder before we begin discussing the show that it would be really cool if you could leave us a review or comment, depending on what platform you're listening to this on. And of course, follow or subscribe if you haven't already. It would just be really helpful to get the pod out there to more folks if we got more reviews. And if you have a friend who's really into vampire stuff, or just What We Do in the Shadows in general, and they haven't checked the pod out, maybe send them our way.
And don't forget to check us out on our other podcast, Mojo Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, where we are rewatching the classic Powerpuff Girls and also JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And currently we're on season 3 of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, and we have almost twice as many episodes of that as we have this. So if you want to hear us elsewhere, that is a good place to do so.
Okay, so this is season 3, episode 1, The Prisoner. The vampires are bickering about what to do about Guillermo because he slaughtered so many vampires at the theater in order to save their lives. Nadja says Guillermo is Nandor's familiar, while Nandor says he is all of their familiar. All of theirs. I'm not sure how you grammatically say that correct.
Yeah.
It's like he's the house's familiar.
Yeah.
No one wants Colin's opinion on it. Nadja says they must kill Guillermo, but Nandor says they may still need his protection. A bell rings and they go to check on Guillermo. The Nadja doll also votes to kill him. They have him locked in the basement in a cage and say it's been a month. His toilet bucket needs emptied and Colin is way too enthusiastic about checking it for hidden messages.
They bring him food, raw chicken, but are afraid to just hand it to him and toss it at him through the bars of his cage. Thankfully, the raw food is still in its container, so he's not getting smacked in the face with raw chicken. But they're afraid to make eye contact or touch him. Guillermo is mad because he saved their lives, but they've locked him up and are taking forever to decide his fate. Colin tries to zap him with a cattle prod, but shocks himself when he touches the cattle prod to the metal cage. The vampires are we're going to continue taking our sweet-ass time deciding your fate, and they leave him down there in the dark. And then we cut to Guillermo filming himself in the cage, and he explains that he's not actually trapped down there. There's a loose section of the cage, and he gets out of there while Colin is at work and the others are asleep. After all this, he still does chores for the vampires and disposes of their victims. He says he should just escape, but the vampires are like family, and he worries what would happen to them without him taking care of them.
Oh, they show him too kind of going to a fast food restaurant to eat. The vampires argue over the Warrior's Code and the Vampire's Code, while Guillermo eavesdrops. Nandor goes to talk to Guillermo, and he tries to use the Warrior's Code on him, saying he's not as good a warrior as Nandor, but he would kill to protect them again. He gets an alert on his phone that the cameras are picking up something, and it looks like a black ghost is climbing the outside of the house. Guillermo breaks out, and the spirit comes in through the fireplace. Guillermo throws stakes at it. The guide materializes and catches one of the stakes. She asks why they didn't react to the ravens they sent and says she called, but no one answered because Guillermo was locked in a cage. Eye roll.
The guide has a message from the Supreme Worldwide Vampiric Council in the form of a VHS. They chain Guillermo up while they watch the message from Viago, played by Taika Waititi, who congratulates them on defeating almost 70% of the vampires in the tri-state area. He says vampire must never kill vampire. But when a vampire kills as many other vampires as they have, they know how to get shit done. He promotes them to leaders of the Vampiric Council of the Eastern Seaboard of New World and says they will be monitoring their progress. Colin's already been on the local Vampiric Council for a bit now and is excited, but Laszlo says he didn't become a vampire to be a bureaucrat, not just says it's an honor.
So this surprises even the guide. She has been the guide to the council since, I think it's 1759.
Yeah, I just put the 1700s.
Nadja is excited to be a working woman. They decide not to kill Guillermo and move him up to being a bodyguard. So at first they said kind of like to be an equal or something like that, or they were giving him a promotion and he thought he was going to be made a vampire and he's just been made a bodyguard. I'm sure they still want him to clean and do all their stupid bidding.
God, probably.
But he has to be hypnotized 4 ways. So to the side, Guillermo says their hypnosis no longer works on him, probably because they use it so much on little tasks he would have done anyway. The hypnosis comes with the risk of messing up his brain, but once they do it, he is fine. Colin adds into the hypnosis that Guillermo has to meow anytime Colin says his name.
So they go to the Vampiric Council headquarters, and the guide takes them to the Judgment Chamber where they were almost killed at the end of season 1. They're cold down there, so the wraiths that work there give them cloaks. The guide unveils the Master's throne and asks them to determine who will become the supreme leader of the tri-state area, and says only one of them can have the honor. Nadja, Nandor, and Colin fight over the throne while Guillermo, Laszlo, and the guide watch. And that's where the episode ends.
So I was horrified at first how they were treating Guillermo, because if it was kind of like a normal person in that cage for a month, they might have died.
Yeah.
In those conditions, there were yoo-hoos besides the raw chicken. I guess you could survive on yoo-hoos. I suppose a person could eat raw chicken, but there's always the chance of like the salmonella.
Yeah.
And if the person could even stomach that. So I was delighted that he could get out, and I'm not sure why he was going in that nasty pot if he could get out.
Yeah.
I could see peeing in it, but I think for me, I would have held number 2.
Yeah.
Unless it was an emergency. Yeah, he was like catching up on television because he could get Wi-Fi down there. So yes, I was delighted he could get out, but then that he was he was disposing of bodies. He was dusting. If he wanted them to realize his worth, because like we just had an episode where everything went to shit while he was gone.
Yeah.
So I was all for him leaving to go, get a fast food meal or like visit his mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Go use the bathroom, shower at his parents' house. But him cleaning while they're sleeping, I was like, no.
Yeah. It's also like, no, Guillermo. Go do Guillermo things, but Guillermo things don't have to involve cleaning up after these assholes.
I think he even said they think it just automatically does that. Well, you need to show them that it doesn't, that you've been doing it.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot, like while they're sleeping, he's doing all this stuff. That's why they think it's automatic.
Yes. It's like when some dude gets divorced and he didn't realize his wife did all the shit around the house, and then once she's gone, the house is a pigsty and he can't even fucking feed himself. No, Guillermo. Show them that he can't do jack shit without you.
Well, they could learn, but I don't know. When he was gone before, they didn't even try.
Yeah.
They do need him, sort of, but they could learn.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure why he didn't correct them about the chicken, but maybe, it's just hard to get through to them.
Yeah, it does seem like it would.
Or they would say he's complaining, oh, you want us to cook it now, do you? Something. I'm sure there's all kinds of, convenience stores nearby where they could at least have bought him junk food.
Yeah.
That was, that you could just open and eat.
Get him some Doritos or Takis or something. Anything. Anything with the raw chicken.
So until the guide showed up, it could have went on indefinitely.
Yeah, it's fine to just stay like that until they decided whether or not they wanted to kill him.
I'm hoping he would have. After a month, I think I just would have left.
Absolutely. Just left and then put a little note and just been get bent.
I like that the guide kind of has almost ghost powers. I think before we kind of saw her almost like she could teleport and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they don't. I get the ravens, but they should it should be with a messenger pigeon or supposedly owls in say the Harry Potter world. Why aren't the ravens giving a note?
Yeah.
Because they tried the phone, but they could have shoved a note under the door maybe. I don't know.
Something.
And obviously they had to leave to get the raw chicken, unless I could see Colin coming up with the raw chicken thing, even though he knows that's not what people eat.
Yeah.
And maybe he's the one getting the raw chicken, so maybe they didn't actually leave the house for someone to grab them and like, hey, we need to talk to you. But yeah. So who knew? Like, you get in trouble for killing. They did think that they killed several vampires, but then when you killed a whole room full of them, that you would get promoted.
Yeah.
They were going to be killed and punished and killed for the previous killings, but for these killings, it was like they were making a career move.
Yeah.
A political move.
Like, actually, that was cool as hell what you did. Congratulations.
And then, like, them discussing Guillermo, like, what they should do with him. It was like they were scared of him, even though previously they weren't scared of him.
Yeah.
And they were talking about that they would have to lock themselves inside their coffins at night so he couldn't, like, sneak up on them.
Yeah, I feel like I don't stay that scared of him for long, but like, if I were Guillermo, I'd be like, oh, you guys are being a little too demanding? Well, here's my steak!
Yeah.
And I just sit in the corner, just like whittling some steaks.
Yeah, he should have a lot more leverage now to, like, I'm not cleaning up your bodies anymore. Like, maybe at least negotiate for some of the worst parts.
Absolutely.
Although he's supposed to be bodyguard, so we'll see. Does he have to dust and take their clothes to the cleaners, clean up bodies and all that stuff? Does he get actual food? The raw chicken previously, like, I'm not sure if there is access to the kitchen there, but that would actually have been decent if they were just getting him unlimited amounts of chicken that he could cook and eat. Maybe have like a grill outside or something, but
yeah, but the time Nandor went down there, just talked to Guillermo by himself, is like, I brought you some chicken that I left out like for days to warm up for you. So I'm like, are they doing that to like all the chicken? Like,
well, he seemed to think like that was like him being nice. Though.
Yeah, yes.
So I don't know. Because Guillermo was keeping it in the little fridge. I don't know. I'm not sure, again, why they don't remember how food works for people.
Yeah.
I guess back when they were alive, how you handled food was probably different. Like, you didn't have refrigeration.
Yeah, they didn't probably know about like germ theory and shit either.
But I like to blame Colin a lot. He should know.
Yes.
So, like, the previous vampire council had to, like, kind of punish other vampires, and they're taking a month or more to decide on Guillermo. I don't feel like these guys are going to be that great at judging other vampires. I can't remember if they have to do that much or not, but I guess that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe they can judge Simon the Devious.
All right, I guess we are going to end things here. Thank you so much for listening. And again, if you haven't already, comment / review, follow / subscribe, hit all those buttons for us. And until next time, remember, you're dead and out of this world. Goodbye.
Goodbye.